Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. We're kind of wrapping up our series on loving kindness. This is the part where, so we've started at self. We've slowly gone outward to people who are easy for us to bring loving kindness and compassion to. So, a close friend. We've moved beyond to a stranger, and then we've moved even to challenging people. And so kind of how we tend to finish the loving kindness practice is to bring compassion to everyone and to sometimes everything. Is it possible for us to have and cultivate good feelings, well wishes, and kindness to everything on earth? And starting, I suppose, the easiest way is with human beings, because this is the three-step process of the loving kindness meditation. 1, mindfulness, so that you recognize how you're feeling, what's going on, being honest with yourself about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what's going on inside of your body. 2, connection, common humanity. So recognizing as well that you have something in common with every other human being. And so that's really the focus of this portion of the loving kindness practice, is to connect with every other human being and recognize that we share a lot of things. And one of the things that we share is that we all have discontentment. We all suffer from time to time. And through that understanding that we all suffer, we can reach out with our compassion to everybody else in the world. So that's really the gist of this practice. I think one of the things that can be challenging for us is to recall that there are a lot of people on this planet who have challenging situations and are going through difficult times. So that's something that we will intentionally bring our attention to. I think it can be really easy to ignore, or you watch the news, you know what's going on in certain areas because the news brings up this area. But the idea here is it possible to recall? And I suppose this is a good reason to educate ourselves about what's going on in the rest of the world as well. To know that all of us who are here today, you have a smart device or a laptop or a computer. You have an internet connection. There are. And that kind of leads me to believe that you probably have food on the table. You have clean drinking water. You have a lot of these things that you may take for granted. And as we do this practice, it helps to cultivate gratitude as we recognize that there are those who it isn't safe where they live. What we talk about too is cultivating I wish for myself, I wish for everyone to be safe and free from harm. And we talk maybe more about inner harm. And a lot of times the safety that's happening that people don't have and crave throughout the world is a kind of physical safety. So, recognizing that there's a huge percentage of the human population who are not as well off as you are. And I think sometimes people go, I feel guilty because I don't, I have it so well, and there are so many people who are suffering, but, I still complain a lot. I feel bad about that, but this is part of the human condition, and I think that feeling bad about it isn't going to help you in the long run. What can be more helpful, though, is instead of feeling guilty about it, is this first step is to recognizing that it's happening, recognizing through mindfulness, through compassion practice for everybody in the world, that there are people who are less fortunate than me, and wishing them well. This can help to incline our mind towards kindness. And then as well, this is kind of like kindness for a stranger on the next level. So seeing that there are so many people in this world that you don't know, and it can help you anytime that you encounter a person who you don't know. This is also part of this practice, that you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's been going on in their life. Most of the time we're worried about the me that got harmed in this situation, or my self-interest. What do I want out of this encounter? And doing this practice can help us to create that habit of thinking about, of realizing that there is another human being in front of me who has a life and who has a story, just like me, just like all of the things that I've gone through. This person has also gone through some challenging times. And last but not least are those who are more well off than we are, and that we may be jealous about. We may think like, oh, like why is this person's life so great and my life, not so much, maybe. And so this practice also helps us to connect and to bring common humanity to those people as well, and those who we don't agree with. I think, I don't. Here in Singapore, the political situation is relatively mild. I hear almost nothing about politics here. But I do recall that every time I go back and visit my family in the States, that there's not only on television, but conversations with my family members on the radio, just lots of political discussion going on, and that's something that I think also divides us. So we end up seeing the dissimilarities between ourselves and others instead of the 99% that we have in common with each other. And so this practice helps us remind ourselves that even those that we find dissimilar to ourselves, we still have a lot in common with them. So our genetic code is 99.9% the same. And these similarities, these things that we just forget about, that this person suffers, this person has a body and a mind and emotions and all of these same core things. And like any human being, right, we came from tribes. The word tribalism is a lot more it's used a lot more these days. But it is something that is inside of all of us. Human beings are tribal creatures. Why did we go beyond tribes? Well, that's a long story, right? But know that this like desire for in-group and this knowledge of the out-group is something that is deeply built inside of you. And so this is another thing that our compassion practice, our compassion reaching ever outward, is here to build. So welcome everybody to today's practice. What we'll do today is, as we've been doing, we'll spend a little bit of time working on mindfulness, settling the mind in the present moment. We'll do a little bit of self-compassion, and then from self-compassion, we'll do our kindness reaching ever outwards. So I'll just cue us to bring into mind people who are, could be quite far away from us. So pick any position or posture that's comfortable for you. Don't worry so much about sitting still. I think the focus here is to see if you can really bring into mind these other people and recognize that they, like you, are human, and they have the same kinds of issues down deep at the core, the same human issues that we all have. So first, beginning by feeling into the body. So one way to calibrate our awareness is to recognize that there is something pressing against the body. So no matter where you are, what you're doing, unless you're in the middle of a jump, the earth is pressing back against you. So, can you feel that? Feel pressure. Notice exactly where the cushion, the chair, maybe the floor if you're standing, just noticing where it's pressing back against the body. And just checking in with the body today. Noticing the crown of the head, the face, the jaw, back of the head, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the chest, the abdomen, feeling the abdomen moving as you breathe, the upper back, the lower back, the pelvis, the legs, the feet. So here we are today, alive in this body. And as we sit here, noticing the body, maybe we can also notice the state of the mind today. What's happening? Anything agitating us? We notice the emotions. Can we feel this interface between the body, the mind, and the emotions? Thoughts creating feelings, feelings creating physical sensations. Sometimes these physical sensations creating more thoughts. So just observing here and now what's going on in the present. So let's begin to shift our attention to this object of loving kindness and compassion that's closest to us, this object of self. So can you open your heart? Can you offer yourself some unconditional love? Recognizing that in this moment you are already exactly as you're meant to be in this moment. And right now, the you that is here is the you that is already here and is supposed to be here. So you can extend kindness to yourself. You can extend your own unconditional love. Whether you feel worthy or deserving does not matter. That now is the right time to begin to learn to love yourself. So opening your heart to yourself. Maybe you feel something. Maybe you don't. Does not matter. Trying to incline the heart towards kindness to self is already enough, and the very first step in learning how to be kind everywhere. And in fact, this practice exists at all levels, that there is connection between self and the universe. In fact, I am part of this universe. This universe is a part of me. In a way, loving myself is loving the universe. So you need not extend your practice any farther than self if you don't feel comfortable to do that today, because this practice is already complete and effective just by staying on this object of self. And so if you like, repeating after me, or at your own pace, the phrases that I'm about to say, or whatever phrases you find serve you in this practice. May I be happy and contented. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree possible for me. May I be healthy and whole. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. And so continuing to hold this loving kindness, this compassion towards yourself, and seeing if we can extend our loving kindness and compassion, only if you feel comfortable to do so, out just a little bit, out towards those that we love, those who are close to us, those for whom this practice, this unconditional love comes easily. So maybe allow the faces of our friends and family to pop into our minds. Maybe friends of friends. Maybe extended family. And so see if you can offer this loving kindness to them. And you can do it just with your attitude. And really, what the phrases are about is more about the feeling than it is about the words. Can you offer these well wishes to these people who are close to you? May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And then maybe beginning to extend out a bit farther to the people here meditating with you now, as potentially strangers, people that we don't know, and recognizing that these people that you're meditating with are all around the world. Wishing them well. Inclining your heart to kindness. And what about the community you live in? Your neighborhood? Your city? Full of people. All kinds of different people. Can you reach out your loving kindness towards all of them? To your state or province, to your country? Is it possible for you to wrap your compassion and kindness around the entire world for all human beings? Maybe even using this idea of everybody here meditating together as nodes. So extending outwards to those people's cities, to their provinces, their countries. So we create this web of kindness around the globe. And remembering that there are people who are less fortunate than us, people who do not have the basic necessities, those who are sick and dying, those who have yet to be born, those who are being born, those who are in prison, justly or unjustly. And then those who are more well off than we are. Those who are leading our countries. Steering the way of humanity. Leaders of corporations, government leaders. So holding, if it's possible for you, holding everyone on this planet in your awareness. How vast is your awareness? Can you hold all of humanity here and wish them well? May all human beings on this planet be happy and contented. May all human beings on this planet be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May all human beings be healthy and whole to whatever degree possible. May all human beings be at peace. May we all have ease of well-being. And so on the next exhale, letting go of any imagery you have. Letting go of any thoughts or feelings that are being created by this practice. and simply coming back to the present, coming back to this body, coming back to feeling the breath moving in and out of the body. So well done. Congratulations, everyone, for making it through today's practice. And I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. All right, well done. So, how'd it go today? What did you find? Do you think that this practice was challenging? Or did it come easy for you? If you've been joining in the last week, how did this practice compare to, say, kindness to a stranger, or kindness to a challenging person, or kindness to a friend? What did you find out as you explored and you did this kind of extending outwards practice? And just to let you know, I find that this 15-minute format is a little bit challenging for me to really feel like, as I'm leading this meditation, that I can do it completely. So would encourage you to come back on Saturday morning my time, Saturday morning Singapore time, which might be Friday evening for you if you're in the States or in South America or Europe or Africa. So come back on Saturday for the longer 40-minute version of this practice and see how that lands with you. So I'm going to go have a look at the chat now. Caesar says it was quite relaxing for me, thanks. And Dirk says this was more difficult. And like I said, I think this one's pretty. It is quite challenging. I think it's more challenging to do this loving kindness out to all of humanity when we don't have enough time. I think when it's done in this 15-minute format, it's a little bit more challenging to connect with than when it's done in the longer format. So I do encourage you to come back and try again on Saturday or Friday night. Mandy says, loved it. It was exactly what I needed. I've been praying for ways of meditation that will work for me. Well, thanks, Mandy. Thanks for coming. It's great to have you here today. Thanks, John. It is great to do the Metta Bhavana practice with the group, even if it's virtual. Thanks, John. I agree. It's nice. Metta Bhavana is just the Pali terminology for this practice. So Pali is this language of the old language that we no longer use, the language of the Buddha. So thanks, John. Jean says, I just came from an extended loving kindness practice just before we met. Yeah, it's nice to have you all here today. It's nice to see everybody joining in. And good to feel the kind of the connection as well. That I feel anyway. Jean says, the more I practice loving kindness, the easier it gets. And I agree. The more that we do it, the easier it becomes. And I think that's what it's about, right? It's about this inclining the mind towards kindness, and it is about practice. The more we practice doing it, the easier it becomes. So keep it up, and you'll eventually eventually be able to have a kinder, more compassionate response to everybody that you meet in your life. Strangers, loved ones, challenging ones. So keep it up. And Suzanne says, extending out seems so vast. And I guess that's the thing about it. It does feel vast, and it's an interesting challenge, right? What are the limits of my attention? What can I hold in attention? Where can I extend my kindness out to? Does it feel a certain way? And it doesn't really matter. What you feel. It's the and the other thing as well, like I began the meditation, you don't have to extend outwards, because you are not separate from this universe that gave rise to you. So in a way, as you practice loving kindness to self, you're already practicing loving kindness for the rest of the universe. So and this practice, some people go, well, this is strange, and this is weird, and it doesn't work for me. Well, then, omit the parts that don't work for you. Do the stuff that does. Really, the main idea here is to incline our hearts to kindness to everybody that we meet, so that we, instead of, maybe the instinctive protectionist, like I'm here with me and I'm protecting me, that we're recognizing that the feelings that we have are common, and that the people that we're encountering also have a lot of the same feelings that we do. Yeah, sometimes concentration is really difficult when we have distractions, like Gary's sharing. I think, especially as I was moved into this apartment, I'm always worried about Frank when he's out on the balcony. So I hope everything's okay. All right, everybody. Do take care. I will see you again on Saturday, and we'll try this practice one more time, but in the longer format. So come back, see if it works better for you in this longer format, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. That's why I kind of do this once a quarter, this loving kindness practice, because it works for some of us, and for some people are not as interested in this practice. So we'll be getting back to some more practical topics coming up. So thank you, everyone. Keep practicing, and I'll see you again soon. So before we leave, let's one more time give ourselves a little bit of loving kindness, wish for kindness and compassion for everybody here today, and see if we can one more time invite and incline our hearts to compassion ever outwards. May I be happy and peaceful. May all of you watching, listening, wherever you are, wish you all happiness and peace. May all human beings, all sentient life here on earth and around the universe, may we all be happy and peaceful. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.